Looking to the future, what will be the next big investment proposition and how will performance be measured? How can this industry attract more women to become asset managers and therefore appeal more to a female investor? And what will be the impact of the personalisation of data and how can that data be used to navigate the rapidly evolving geopolitical and investment landscape? This is day 2 of FundForum International 2015. As a global leader in predictive investment and personalised data, MIT's Professor Sandy Pentland illustrated how non-financial data, such as anonymous mobile phone research, can be used.
For instance, this is a map of something that we did for the Ivory Coast, the entire country of the Ivory Coast, where we were able to map GDP per head by behavior of the people. It turns out that people's behavior, just like the behavior of the hotels there, can be linked very tightly to the amount of money that they're learning. So you can look on a city by city or neighborhood by neighborhood basis and ask about things like change in GDP. If you know where various types of business are, you can look at sector performance. You can look at industry sectors, you can look at chemical sectors, you can look at other sorts of things. And again, these are 4 more fundamental measurements. So they give you lead times of months over traditional financial data.
With customer engagement a theme across the entire conference, the issue of the lack of women in the industry and the challenges that poses were also addressed by Newton's CEO and founder of the 30% Club, Helena Morrissey.
Only 7% of UK retail funds are managed by women, and in the States, only 2% of the total assets under management for the industry are run by women. And that's, obviously means that we don't have the right cognitive diversity when it comes to making decisions, but it puts us in a very extreme position when it comes to making sure we connect with our customer base, half of which should at least be women.
I'll take your phrase there, cognitive diversity. Women think differently, operate differently, and we need more of that.
Definitely. I don't think it's anything we should be embarrassed about at all. Sometimes people think that if we draw attention to the differences between men and women, we might fuel sexism. I actually think it's really important to celebrate our differences, to recognise that together we can be a stronger team.
Key considerations for a stronger team in an industry that many believe needs to evolve quickly.
The average man on the street, it's a bit like the Formula 1 car we've got on our stand. Jensen Button doesn't need to know how the car works. All he needs to know is when the engineer tells me to come in for a pit stop, that's what I need to do. Consumers don't need to be experts in asset allocation. They need to understand what this is going to do for them in terms of, if I put my money in here, how much of it am I guaranteed to get back, how much of it is at risk? And that's probably all they need to know.
That requires trust and a great customer relationship though too, doesn't it?
It does. So if you're a brand that's tucked away at the end of the value chain with no relationship with the customer, how are you going to do that?
So, acknowledgement of the need for change and new investment propositions, but will it actually happen?
What I can observe based on data that we collect in the labs, but also on the field, is that it's not easy to train people to go against certain tendencies. Yet, we have found solutions in order to help people being more adaptive, more flexible, and for them to be able to cope with new risks, new situations that you can't find in your usual textbook at school.
So what would you encourage them to do? What are some of those solutions?
What is interesting is, just like classical piano, you learn the basis, but then you need to be able to improvise. You need to be able not to fight your emotions, but to use them. It's not about fighting against your biases, it's just embracing the biases, knowing what kind of tendencies we have as humans and mastering them.